And you've used this before, right? So you know how
Yes, I
just
have.
comments
Yep.
and everything. Cool.
Yeah, we use StreamYard. So what I'm doing is I'm actually I'm using my phone so that way I can actually look at you instead of like somewhere else like
Yeah,
we do
I
on
got
our
you.
show. But I got, the computer pulled up to see comments.
Cool. So we should be live here. We'll give it a minute here. Looks like people are starting to plop on. Plop, plop, plop. We're live, folks. Where you at? Amanda's busy. She's got lots of things to do.
Shared it on my timeline here. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
It looks so weird trying to do this on the computer instead of on my phone.
Yeah, people don't understand all the technology trickery and
oh my gosh,
acrobatics you got to get through to
yeah,
make,
it's real. It's a lot to do sometimes, especially when you have like multiple pages.
Yeah. Gotcha. We got some people saying hello. Hey, Chris. Hello, Eileen.
Okay.
This is Scott with Jenna and Scot Investigate. We're here live. I've got Amanda Lewis, which formerly was with Star Encounters and is with the Paranormal People, and we'll get into that shortly. Although she's kind of given us that you guys have already premiered you've debuted at 6 o'clock, your new name. Yes. It's also in your title right there. So it's like a poorly kept secret at this point.
we were trying so hard there to be secretive about it. There was a time I almost slipped up and said it and was like, oh crap, nope, can't do it yet.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, Scott, I think originally we were planning on announcing it more like tomorrow. But at this point, he finished our YouTube channel that he created and everything, and he's just like, "Can we just share it today? Can we just do that?"
Well, apparently okay. he needs to sponsor this drink, right? Because that's what got him motivated. Did you say?
Yeah. Yep. He sure does. Stuff, he drinks those all the time.
Whew. Yeah, that stuff. That definitely wires you up. I'm more of a rock star drinker myself, but I've had a couple of those lately, and that'll do it.
Yeah, I myself, I'm not huge on energy drinks. I don't typically like to drink them unless if I eat something beforehand, because I do find, and I have been on investigations, and if I drank one of those and went hours without eating, I've made myself feel really sick. I've actually puked before. We were at an investigation last year where we went to the Stone Mansion. We had some cheap ass pizza. But we went a lot of hours where I had nothing in my system and just that. And I puked a lot that night, just out of nowhere. So I kind of watch it when it comes to that now.
Yeah, Jenna doesn't like me eating pizza the night before. She says it ruins her EVPs. So
like Taco Bell.
Yeah. Basically, she's like, "Did you have pizza?" And then normally when you're on these hunts, that's what people usually bring, right? They bring the pizza and everything else is their food of choice. So it's like,
yeah.
What can I say? So go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So just real quick for those of you that are just now joining us, I'm Scott with Jenna and Scot Investigate, and my guest tonight is Amanda Lewis, formerly, or I guess still is with Scar Encounters, but they did just change their name to the Haunted Ones. So this is kind of a premiere. They are now known as the Haunted Ones. Your Facebook page, you're in the process of getting that changed over. And then
I know we were discussing that a little bit earlier. That's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Hopefully it goes through fine. I know some people had expressed how they've, tried to change their name on their page before and had issues.
Yeah.
So I'm crossing my fingers that Facebook will, within a couple of days, go ahead and get that changed. If not, I will shed a couple of tears and have to make a whole new page and start from scratch.
Basically hit everybody up on the other page and be like, I know you liked us over here, but can
right. Go one by one with each person.
All the thousands and thousands of people, if you just take a minute and just do that, boom, we'll be right back where we started. So
man, can you imagine how long that would take me? I got, what did we say, 4,600?
It was 4,000, 4,600, and it looked like you guys started in April of 2019. Yeah, because I was curious how long it took, being somebody that kind of does our stats. And I was like, oh, it doesn't feel bad in 2 years being able to go that high up.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of social networking, a lot of getting to know people. You know, you know how sometimes you get people that just like add you and you don't know who they are and they just send you a request to like their page, but they like never talk to you or pay attention to you. I was always that person that kind of was like more in your face. Like if I added new people, I would actually try to message them and be like, "Hi, I'm Amanda from so and so. You know, here's my link. Do you mind liking my page? If you
Yep.
have one, I can return the favor." Like I did that with so many different people. And you know, you get some people that would brush you off. They'd read it and be like, "Yeah, whatever, who's this crazy bitch?" And then you know, you get
I
someone
get
that
that
would be
all
like,
the
"Oh,
time.
okay." And it's awesome though, because now that I think about like how far we've gone already so far in pretty much the 2 years of being a team, um, you know, I have people that are newer to this that will message me and do the same thing that I used to do when I first started. So I'm always super nice to those people. They're like, yeah, I'll like your page. I'll share that. You know, I'll help you out. Like, I'm all about that stuff because I know how tough it can be, especially when you just start and people are looking at you and they're just like, I've never heard of you. Who are you? Like, and some people at first aren't going to take you seriously. You know, you really got to get to know people, and you know, that's the important part I feel about social networking is just really not only putting yourself out there and advertising yourself, but you just genuinely need to get to know other people and support them as well.
Yeah, it's an engagement model for sure. I mean, it's not just, hey, let me go out to my entire friends list, which I always felt weird about because I don't know how you are. I've got my paranormal friends, I've got my work friends, I've got band friends, and some of them, a lot
Yeah.
of them do come, cross over. But then there's some that are like, wait, you go to dark, cold buildings and you sit around for hours looking for a Casper, is that right? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, and people watch me do it, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." But
You
so
know,
early on, I was kind of more selective about who I tagged and stuff like that because I was like being in bands and stuff. You get inundated with everybody like this, like this, like this, and it's like
yeah.
I didn't want to be that shoving it down their throats. And then it was interesting though. Once I kind of said, you know what, I'm proud of what we're doing. We're having fun with it. It's Jen and I are like I said having a blast with it. And then
Yeah.
I think people kind of picked up on that and they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is cool. This is fun. I didn't know you guys were into that. Oh, that you're
Yeah.
like that couple that we've got these couples that go and travel and do these exotic things or whatever, and you're the ghost hunter people." And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. So yeah, it's kind of been enjoyable that way because, and well, but like we got started together. Shit, it's been 5 years now, and it really was. We did a lot. I'm more. She's always been the more spiritual, more in tune with the supernatural stuff. I've
Yeah.
been more the skeptic, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but what's weird is the experiences I had as a kid probably are more terrifying than a lot of people have as far as what made me get into this. And what I've always said, and it's maybe like a cliche, but it's 99% of what I see when we're out there or evidence and things like that, I kind of go, I can probably explain it away or somebody can,
You
and
sound exactly like my Scott.
yeah, and it's like it must be something with the name, right? But then the 1% is where I go, holy cow. And that's the
Yeah.
stuff that Jenna's point out because she tends to do more of the psychic medium and those kind of feely stuff and what I call the feely. And there's been some times where I'm just like, yeah, I can't explain it. And
Yeah.
that's always cool because it's like and not to say that it's still there's not some kind of natural phenomena, but
Yeah.
somebody smarter than me,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying I'm an expert on any of this, but it's like definitely I've gone through my different ways of how I can debunk this and the stuff still stands up for the most part. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, we'll add that to the list and maybe someday we can debunk it. If not, there,
Yeah.
I think it's foolhardy for us to think that we know everything. And
Yeah.
there's stuff
I
definitely
agree
outside of what we
completely.
know. Yeah.
And
That-
you know, that's what makes it interesting too is I think it's always good, whether you have a team or somebody else that you're working with. I think it adds a nice twist when you do have somebody that is spiritual and then somebody that's more of a skeptic. I feel like it is important to have that because otherwise you might have a bunch of people that are going to absolutely 100% think everything's paranormal. You can't be having that. I feel like it's important, you know,
Yeah,
you
you
need
don't want
somebody
them on
that's
either
like,
side of the
hey,
spectrum. You don't want them on either side of the spectrum because if you got everything that happens, people are
yeah,
like, "That's ghost, that's an orb," you know, blah 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 blah. Blah. And
yeah,
or the other side, you don't want people being like, "Screw that, that's not anything." You need to
yeah,
have an open mind in the middle there because otherwise, it's just like, you know, if you're that skeptical, you're never going to believe anything, you
right,
know. And
exactly.
it's kind of like it's kind of almost like there's a certain element that reminds me of, and I've said this before, like religion. There's a certain amount of faith to this, and it's
Yeah,
like kind of joking. I've told Jenna, I said, you know what? At this point, in the way humanity is, you know, Jesus Christ could reappear at the Super Bowl and drop down in front of everybody and say, "My people, I have returned,"
yeah,
and people are gonna be like, "That's bullshit. That's like that's a hologram. That's not real. There's not the look at the special effects. Look at how they did that. That's not real at all." I mean, we're kind of at that point where it's just like, how would that stuff even happen to where you
right.
could?
You know, it's funny, you know, bringing back earlier to the topic when you had mentioned, you know, having like family and friends and other people on your list and they're seeing like what you do. I know when we first started with this, I was having my moments where I was kind of like, ooh, like, what are these people back in high school? What are they going to think of this? Is this going to be weird? Like, or my current friends going to like not support this and think this is stupid? Like I used to worry about that stuff, but it's so funny because the moment we really just started doing this and they saw us going to these places and, you know, capturing cool things, they're just like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'd have people that I worked old jobs with, you know, or went to school with that would reach out to me, tell me something paranormal that happened to them. They'd ask me questions like, oh, what's the most haunted place you've been
Yeah.
to? And what you do is so cool. And, you know, part of our new YouTube series, actually, what we want to do is, I guess I'll just start going in
Yeah,
to
by all means,
explain
I've got no
for
agenda here,
viewers.
so it's just a free for all. So
So
yeah,
part of our idea for our series, what we want to do is I really want to kind of do the old school scariest places on earth, except I don't want it to be like faked or exaggerated. I want it to be real and raw. I want people to be able to watch it and get the actual emotions of what it's like. Having the camera on us as investigators and then also having guinea pigs, you know, putting in newbies in these
yeah.
locations, doing fear challenges. Um, so some of the places that we're going to be filming at, I've booked it where it's just me and Scott. Um, we're going to be doing different methods, whether it's strapping a camera, you know, we're going to have a GoPro facing us to get
Yeah.
our reaction and then a GoPro for our surroundings. We're going to go into buildings by ourselves for long periods of time with different equipment, trying out different ways to bring out activity on camera while people can, you know, watch our emotions and see how we're feeling. But then also, we want to have, you know, the whole idea of going to some places where we have people that have never done this before and to have them, you know, see what it's like and put the cameras on them and say, okay, go in the building for a good hour or so by yourself. You know, we want the viewers to really tune into how it is even on their end, and I think it's going to be really exciting. I really hope that the series does well. I've got so many different ideas with it that I'd like to do, so hopefully we do successful with it. With, I guess you could say, our first season.
So yeah, I'm assuming you've got a lot of people wanting to be guinea pigs because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Um,
I think you tell them, what, they're like, oh, we get to go ghost hunting. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to strap you with a camera and send you into a dark building by yourself and just see what happens.
and that's the thing is, you have to make sure you find people that know what they're getting into, because you really don't want to be like, oh, hey, yeah, come with us. And they have no idea. And then you bring them there and you're like, okay, here's the chess piece and go ahead and, go in there. And they're going to be like, no, I can't do that. You got to tell them, like, this is what's going to happen.
You mean I gotta go in this morgue and sit in this where these people died? Well, yeah. You're not just right? You don't get to sit in the warm car and watch it on Facebook or sit from your house. I mean, anybody could do that. But,
what I love about it too is, like, it never fails. I don't know about you, but even as an investigator, and where we've went to plenty of awesome places, like, I still have my moments where it's really cringy to go by myself in some spots.
Oh, yeah. Your mind can mess with you. Waverly Hills was like that with me. I ended up on the top floor by myself and just was walking, and I don't get spooked too easily. And you're just walking along, and it's suddenly, I mean, there must have been 40 people there, and it got so quiet, and you just like can literally hear the blood rushing through your head, and you're like, all righty then, I'm just going to pick up the pace just a little bit.
And that's when you hit the moment where you start kind of distracting yourself, whether it's just talking uncontrollably or talking to the spirits where you don't shut up, let them talk. Because you're realizing
bad when I'm doing Facebook Live. I use the whole, the Facebook Live. I feel like I have somebody to talk to. So I'm like, oh, yeah, this is fun. I'm up on this floor and I'm seeing shadow figures and whatever else. But you guys are all with me.
That was the best part of doing the lives, too, because what was it? The Monroe House. I know for sure the Monroe House, I did go in areas by myself while I was live. I think at Middle Point School, I did the same thing. I was live by myself, but I felt better because, oddly enough, it was like, I felt like people were with me because people were watching and talking on there.
They're like, we got your back. Like, there was this, when I was at Fairfield Infirmary, I was like, yeah, I'm going to lose my way while I'm talking on camera. And people were like, you're on this floor. You got to turn to the left here. You got to turn it right. I'm like, somebody has to be my virtual breadcrumbs because I'm not paying attention where I'm going. And that was very helpful because they're like, yeah, you just passed up where you were supposed to be. You need to go here. You need to, or like I'd forget stuff like gear. They'd be like, oh, you forgot your flash ball in that room. And I'm like, thank you. That's I was thinking when you were talking about people using people as guinea pigs. If you haven't thought of this yet, you need to fit them with like Fitbits or something and monitor all their biological stuff. So like pulse.
That's a good idea.
So like when you send them in there, because I mean, if you think about it, when we do investigations, a lot of times you're checking environmental stuff anyway. So it'd be kind of cool to, wow, her heart rate just went up through the roof or whatever the case.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I do like that idea, especially if you think about it with that teaser video. That was the heartbeat that was increasing throughout it. So
you could get their pulse. You could check their pulse rate and then their heartbeat and stuff to see how they're doing. Oh, I'm not scared. Well, your pulse rate and your heartbeat say otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, if David Childers, my co-host from the Paranormal People, I don't know if he's still on here or not. He chimed in at some point. So I might as well put a disclaimer out there. I know I needed to at some point. Oddly enough, we had to laugh about this. So David Childers is part of a brand new documentary that's coming out. I don't know if you saw it. It was a good couple of days ago. He made the announcement, tagged his team members on it. And I woke up one morning and me and Scott are looking at the post and I'm like, what the hell? Because I just realized his documentary was called The Haunted Ones documentary. And me and Scott were like, what? Like, what are the odds? Because we never told David the name of like our new brand name or our YouTube series. And I'm like, great minds think alike. So it's funny because he sent him a screenshot and he goes, bro. And David calls us and he's like, what is going on? What's that? And we all just had a good laugh about it because, like, seriously, the timing, it's like, I didn't want people to like see that and then think we were copying because we're going to announce our name afterwards.
You're a
And
spinoff. He's the David. His thing is like the movie, and you're the spinoff series that
yeah,
comes out, right?
like it's awesome, like, hey, I like his name idea because obviously like I came up with that too. But it's really cool. I'm still going to share his along, and I'll just have to make sure when I share his page, I'll, tell people, hey, this is his documentary. This has nothing to do with us. Sharing for a friend type of thing. But no, I'm excited for them. It's going to be awesome. And I think what makes it good too is, despite our names being the same, we are going to be separate because theirs is actually going to be a full film.
Okay.
Ours is going to be episodes on YouTube, basically, is what it comes down to, from different locations that we're planning on going to. And, that's pretty much the gist of it. But yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there in case if anybody saw both and was like, what is going on here?
So are you, and maybe this is too early, but are you planning on, is this going to be like a YouTube series, or you got bigger aspirations? Are you going to Amazon, or what are you, or is the sky the limit at this point?
To be honest with you, at first, before we came up with this, Scott kept talking about us doing like an Amazon Prime documentary together. He wanted to do that. And after a while, we both were kind of like, maybe we shouldn't go that far into it quite yet. We've never done one of those. I think we should maybe just do, short episodes on YouTube, of things that we do and come up with some cool ideas and stuff like that. I think that's our best route for now to take. So that way, we can build our subscribers up, get people to see what we do and enjoy it. And if it turns out good, we may get to a point where we'll decide to actually make a full documentary to put on Amazon Prime. It always helps when you have friends in the field that know what they're doing when it comes to, filming and putting things together. Because we'll admit, like, we're new with all of this. So that teaser video you saw, like, that's the best thing I've ever seen Scott do. We're hoping that it's just going to continue being that good.
Got to keep him on Bang energy drinks, and he can keep that going. He's a little Scorsese there. He's channeling his inner Scorsese.
Yeah. And it's
or Tarantino, whatever side you're on that. But yeah, either way.
And it's funny too, because like when it came to even Scar Encounters this entire time, like it's been Scott's thing to do the video editing, more of like the technical side of things. I've always been more of the face of the team that does the social networking. I put the website together. I built our paranormal page, things of that sort. I make like our podcast flyers, anything visual, banners, stuff like that. But I tell you what, for this one, I went weeks being really tired from work and lazy, and he went all in, and he did the font for our name. He made those illustrations of us. He did all of it. So I was like, damn. Like, okay,
like,
do your thing.
Hey, we're a team. We can. That's delegation. You can have that.
And that was his idea too, with putting the YouTube channel together. I wasn't ready to do it quite yet, but he wanted to get it over with, so he did all of it today and was like, let's do this, let's get it all out. I'm like, okay. Just going with it.
Well, like I've told you before, I think I posted this on Scott's page when you guys were posting something and talking about him, what all he's been doing, and I said, well, behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. And so there you go. And that's kind of what with Jenna, with me, it's like I tend to be the pie in the sky. I do most of the graphic stuff in that, but she's really good about going, hey, did you try this or that? Or kind of taking the ideas that I come up with and then taking it to something that would actually work with people. And then she comes to me and she's like, hey, I want to do this experiment. I want to do this with these divining rods, but I don't want to actually hold them. I want to do this experiment. People can't say, oh, it's, your muscles in your hands and that. And so, so we sit down and, I'm an engineer by trade. So it's like, oh yeah, cool. I get to make some toys. Let's see what we can come up with. But no, that's cool.
I'm the same way. Like the way that me and Scott work is, somehow we work together well, despite our personalities being very different in some ways. People that know us enough know that I don't shut my mouth up more than half the time. He
Well, I
is
don't
the
know you that
little
well, and I know that.
he's that little angel in my shoulder that's just kind of like, no, don't say anything, just
Yeah,
calm down. And then, I got friends or just the me on the other side that's just
yeah.
like, "Nope, not gonna put up with it," but we work together well because he's more calm natured. He helps me be more of a calm person. And then like in the paranormal aspect of things, me being more spiritual, him being more of the skeptic, me not being religious, him being religious is an interesting combination. And then, he's very tech savvy. He gets on the topic of his fancy ass camera he got, and then this new drone. He talks about all these details that I know nothing about, and I'm just sitting there going, "Yep,
Like, that's wonderful, dear. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah." Like I'm happy that you're happy. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm going with it. Now I know how he feels when I'm talking about makeup or something, though.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, this is like deja vu. Uh,
What's that? Oh,
the whole conversation, yeah. Because I'm the same way. I'm like, but yeah, this will do this and this many this and that, and Jenna's like, so does that mean it's going to record us? I mean, what's that mean in the grand scheme of things? And I'm like, you know, it's just
I'm the
like
same
spectrum
way.
and this, and I can pick up this and all that, and yeah.
Yeah, Scott, he'll get all techie and just go all in, and I would just stand there and look at him and be like, "So, in conclusion, what does this do?" Like,
Yeah.
I get
Well,
it. Like,
and then my
okay.
thing is, I've got this. I'm a gear nerd, so it's like I got tons of different gear and stuff I've built myself and whatever else, and the amount of results, and I put results in quotes, evidence, whatever you want to call it, is very disproportional to me for the amount of gear I have. But then you take Jenna and you give her one thing, and it's like this thing won't shut up. So it's like definitely goes back to some people have potentially the energy or something to pull that in or whatever, because yeah, you give her a ghost box, and that thing it'll sing. Give
Yeah.
it to me and it's just like every once in a while it's like, oh, it's this guy again with his toys, okay. But I don't know, it's different. I keep coming back to it. I mean, it's fun. I love I'm a I love old buildings and architecture. That's probably I'm more into that than the actual ghosty stuff. Like,
You know
oh, what's
what?
the history of this
Yeah.
building? And going in and seeing the woodwork. Like, wow, look how they dovetailed this and how they did the staircase and all. It's beautiful. That's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff that amazes me.
You know what?
And
I actually can appreciate that because I feel like in a lot of cases I'm the same way. Um, in high school, I always sucked and didn't pay attention in world history. I'm not even gonna lie, I sucked at all of that. David.
I was just going to respond, right?
No, I um,
Friends like
but
those,
the older that I've gotten though, I have gotten better about my history and paying attention and looking up more about that. I'd say Scott is more of the one that's really big into, the history of places. But for me, a lot of it is just like the architecture, of these places more than anything, even more than just the paranormal. I can go to a place and appreciate it, even if we don't capture much of anything. I know that I will leave that place being like, wow, that place was beautiful though. Like I was able to go here, so
man.
I take things with a grain of salt when it comes to, investigating. Because, I think a lot of people, especially when they're newer in the field, they might watch so many shows and then go out there and assume that it's going to be like that. And then they're just going to disappoint themselves until they do it over and over and over. And then they realize, oh, shit, it's not like how it is on TV. So,
Yeah, I mean, my experience has been I've gotten less evidence than I have gotten evidence as far as
yeah.
if you figure how many hours I've logged being in these buildings and stuff like that. It's definitely it's not the what I call the Scooby Doo episodes where 30 minutes you find a ghost, you figure out who the ghost is, and you've solved it. Which is, I mean, these shows that are on TV, they have to keep viewers. They have to be edited. Nobody wants to see the hours that you're just sitting there with nothing going on.
Exactly.
They don't. Nobody would. You'd lose it. I mean, we have that on our Facebook feeds. There's times where it's like, yep, that's just me walking around. That's really all there is right now. And then, then suddenly it's like, oh, there's something cool happens. But yeah, the amount of, it's definitely disproportional to whatever's else going on. But
yeah. And that's the thing, that I know people have their different opinions about going live when they're investigating. I'm not gonna lie, for a while there, when we were still like a full team, we didn't care going live because we kept thinking, well, we're just wasting people's time. What if nothing's even happening? But then we started to realize like a lot of people seem to really enjoy watching live videos. I'd see other teams doing it and they're all about it. So we're like, okay, what the hell? We'll give it a shot. Maybe
that's how we were. A lot of times, they're not even necessarily, and this is going to sound bad, but I love the people that watch us and they know we're all friends here. But a lot of times they're not really even paying attention. They're just having conversations amongst themselves in the chat, like, hey, what have you been up to? And haven't seen you in forever. So it's like a little family get together. And they're like, oh, by the way, oh, look, Scott just almost fell down. Isn't that funny? And stuff like that. So yeah, that's
sure.
kind of funny to have your little crew like running around doing that stuff. But yeah, I get that. I was kind of the same way when Facebook Live at first. I'm like, are people really into this? I mean, is this something it's going to keep your interest? And but yeah, I mean, it's working. It's like, okay, if I'm at a place and I have the ability to Facebook Live, Jenna's more like, leave me alone. I'm trying to do an EVP because I usually walk in the room with a light or I'm stomping around and I'm talking on camera, and she's like, I was trying to do an EVP. I'm like, okay, we need to have better communication or something like that. So
yeah.
But we were talking earlier, so we went to Poasttown Elementary over the weekend, and it was Jenna and I, and then we had Jack Neese, who is a psychic medium, went with us too, and it was really cool because we didn't get a lot of evidence on camera or even like recorded stuff, but it was really cool to see Jenna in a totally different area of the building and Jack somewhere else, and they were picking up on things. And then we were on walkie-talkie. She's like, "Did you just?" And they were picking up off each other. And I've not been around that because I'm more like I said, I'm more the tech geek person. I mean, the coolest thing I had happen to me was I had my little ghost box that I built, and we kept saying, I was in the gymnasium, and it was saying, Michael, and I'm like, oh, is there a Michael here? What's your deal? The usual stuff. And it kept going. And then I had my daughter was with me. And she came around the corner and she goes, have you been to the room across the way there? And I'm like, no. And she goes, you should go look at that. Walked around the gym, and in there was a sign that said Michael and I think Pauline Talby on a sign sitting on the floor. And literally where my ghost box was, direct line of sight, was that room. I mean, there was a wall there. And it was like, okay, well, that's coincidental. That's kind of cool. But
gotta love the coincidences.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, Mike's a pretty common name, to hear over a ghost box, that and John and things like that. But it was still cool. I'll take it. I'll take it for what it is, and we'll go with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you guys, so Fairfield, was that the first time you were there for a ghost hunt?
Actually it was. And it's funny
because you guys get to do any kind of investigation, or was it just more?
No, we didn't. What happened honestly was we're reaching a time crunch, and we wanted to be able to just finally put a teaser video out there. And we were running out of ideas more locally where we're at. And so we kind of hit a point where, I messaged Adam Kimmel and I was like, hey, how do you feel about us just taking some photos, shooting, drone shots and B-roll over at Fairfield? And he was just like, yeah. And, he set up for Sunday and had Addie there for us. And they did have somebody that was going to be there investigating overnight, where they came at 5. So we actually came a couple hours prior to that. So our drive was, a good maybe 3.5 hours, but we really just stayed there for maybe about 2 hours or 2.5 or so. We were kind of, doing what we could as far as like taking, a couple of pictures, Scott using the drone and taking some B-roll and stuff to put together. So hopefully when people watch the teaser video, they don't, watch it and think that it's a video, meaning that it's just a video of us going to Fairfield. The whole point of it is just to be able to put something out there to show this is what we're doing. And then, we're going to be at different locations pretty much for each one. And I'm sure you probably know too, when it comes to, filming a series, in order to have an intro for your series, you kind of have to have content.
Yep.
Like different places you've been to, not just like one place and then there you go. So our plan is we're going to be filming at 3 different locations in March, where Scott's going to have enough time to get B-roll and different things in there. First one, I think in March, we've got Stimson Hospital in Michigan. We have Kosciuszko County Jail in Indiana. And then we're going to be going to Waverly Hills with a group of people. So all 3 of those, we're going to try to get as much video in to put an intro together. So hopefully we'll get that out of the way. And then once we actually start putting films together, I'm hoping, I don't know, it might be sometime our first episode might drop. I'm hoping maybe sometime in April, but we'll see. But I'm excited for it regardless, with all the different places that we have in mind, or ones that we've already been booking so far.
No, I'm excited for you guys too. It's been fun to watch your guys' journey, and so like I said, we've just as a disclaimer for all you viewers out there, I've never met Amanda in person. Basically, all of our stuff has been Facebook, but I feel like I know her. She's got a personality that I can definitely. It's it reminds me a lot of people that I admire and that. So I was like right away. I was like, okay, then, yeah, she's got some spunk to her. Good for her. Because how this. I mean, the whole para unity, para family stuff. There's people. I mean, I'm all for everybody getting along and doing their thing, but it's like every time you want to do that, there's also people that just want to oh, you're not doing it the right way, or you need to do it this way or this way, and it's like, man, at the end of the day, all this stuff, there's just nothing. There's really no rules to it. It's just kind of do what you're passionate about, and chances are you'll find an audience. You'll find some people that kind of are on your same wavelength, and just do it your way, And that's kind of where Jen and I were at. It's like, hey, I told her, I jokingly, I said, we should be like the Chip and Joanna Gaines of paranormal. Kind of the older couple that's always just kind of cranky and bitching at each other and just whining about this or that, and and just kind of play it that way, and go out and visit these places, and people come along on the journey with us, then great. And that's kind of how we approached it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I know in the beginning with us when we were a team, we did that, whole thing of, going in there all about the para unity and sharing into groups and doing what we can. And, you kind of start to notice, cliques that form and people that kind of seem like I almost want to exclude you on purpose. And after a while of seeing behavior like that, you're just kind of like, I'm not really about that life. I kind of want to separate myself from all of that. So that's where, after a year doing this, we're just like, we don't even care at this point. We're just going to do what we do, go where we go, try to, meet good people, form these friendships with good people that we know will, support us as we support them, not just a one-way road type of thing. So once you find that mold, you're all set and you don't even have to worry about anything else. And of course, if you can stay away from dealing with, two-faced people and people with like huge egos that create just nothing but drama and issues for you, that's a pretty good thing to do too.
I mean, that's life, I think. I mean, that's not just indicative of paranormal stuff. I mean, you have that wherever you go, but you're right. It's like we've talked before, and it's like life's too short not to be happy, or paraphrasing. I know you've got a quote that's very similar, but it's basically at the end of the day, just don't be a dick. Just have fun. You know what I mean? It's like you guys want to do your thing and you want to do it this way. Cool. You guys are having fun doing it. You're bringing joy to people. We're doing our thing. People are doing this thing or whatever. And it's like, once you kind of step outside of like you said, some of the characters, it's a lot more empowering, because it's like I told Jenna, I'm like, let's just do it. Let's just do it what we want to do. And I hope it doesn't come across as being egotistical. Like, I don't care what people think. I'm just doing my own thing. But I feel like it's very empowering. It's like, and it's rewarding too, because when you're doing it, your own creation, you and Scott got your thing and this is your ideas, and people are liking that and they're supporting you on that, and you're being sincere and honest. That to me
Yeah.
is super rewarding, because it's like we've got more followers and more friends just being ourselves, and
Exactly.
it's like, no, I'm not posting stuff as marketing spins. It's more about, hey, this is just how I feel. Thanks
Yeah.
for thanks for coming out and checking out our page and liking it, because I mean, I know people get tons of these requests all day long, and
Right.
it's like
And yeah,
it's kind of like
I
I
feel
want it
like,
to be like what I would want. I think
yeah.
I'm dating myself here, but one of my favorite bands is Kiss, and Paul Stanley used to say we were when they were cool. I mean, it's been a while, but we created the band that, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. We created the band that we never saw but wanted to see. So it was like we figured out what is it that we think's missing. That's what we're going to create. And that way, if nothing else, the people that create it are rewarded because they've created something that they can feel comfortable about and that they enjoy.
Exactly. And what I do think, when it comes to being yourself, doing your own thing, being real with yourself, you're going to attract those type of people that are like that too, and those type of people are going to stick around and support you. Usually the ones that you see make a point to not support you aren't really the type of people that you really want to associate with, to begin with.
Right.
You can appreciate from afar what they do, let them do their thing, but you keep going your own way. Keep your circle small is the way that I see it, so that you're avoiding any drama, because we all know that I've been involved in more than I would like.
What?
But
Really? I would have never guessed that about you. I would have never. This is kind of people. You've heard this first. This is breaking news. We've never thought any of that before. This is a headline.
I'm trying to dodge it. It's so hard. This is why, aside from making a whole new brand for us and everything, I told myself this year I'm going to be good. I'm not going to let people affect me like that, where I go overboard like I did last year, especially. I mean, I let my emotions at Midlake get to me, the best of me, sometimes too much, and a lot of it too was people, the way that they were towards me. And I'm learning, especially
It's
more this year,
it's
to
tough.
not be
It's a
that
tough
way.
journey. It's a tough journey because part of you wants to lash out and be like, no, you know, but you're given, at least been in my experience, um, you give some people a lot of power over you that really don't deserve that
Right.
power. Like you lose sleep over, you stress about, whatever comments they made or things. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, eh, you're not going to
Exactly.
ever, not everybody's going to like you. So it's just like, all right,
Yeah.
whatever,
And
whatever.
I like what Emma she said in the comments. She said the fake usually show themselves eventually. Very true.
No, that's very true. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, whether you're a team, a duo, or just doing this thing on your own, just, be yourself, do your own thing. If you're gonna regardless have some people that'll cross you where you're just not their cup of tea and they're not yours, and that's life. You don't even need to make a big deal about it, type of thing, because I feel like, if anything, the more you are out there and just talking and working and dealing with literally everybody, is where you're probably going to get yourself in trouble at some point, because you're going to cross some characters that just are no good.
And
So
some people just want to, again, quoting, some people just want to watch the world burn. They're
yes,
just looking to be the Debbie Downer or the negative. They just can't stand the idea that somebody could be happy. So
exactly. So
it's
some
like,
people will just, they'll kind of sit on the sidelines and observe what you do, but they're not like exactly being happy for you. And I try very hard not to be that way. I try to do what I can to support people and what they're doing, especially, for people that do the same for us. I don't like to make it seem like it's just one-sided, where I don't care about anybody and what they're doing.
yeah,
So
no, that's a good. You try to be true and be supportive, and support the people that support you, and again, that's it to me. It's been more rewarding doing that than anything else, because
Yeah.
you don't deal with the drama, and again, it's like at the end of the day, it's just ghost hunting. I mean,
I know.
and I may have just pissed some people off by saying it that way, but it's just at the end of the day, it's like there's so many other things in this world going on. Just give
Yeah.
us this. Give us this
Right.
one. Ghost something we like to do. It takes our mind off of the crazy world that we're living in. Yeah, yeah. It's like it shouldn't be that complicated.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about that too, because just recently in between, I won't go into detail, but obviously a lot of people saw some drama with somebody that had happened, and it turned it into me and one of our ex-members texting back and forth and going at it when we haven't talked in months. But we went from that to actually apologizing to each other and admitting our mistakes. I admitted, that we could have ended and split the team up a little bit differently than we did,
Mm-hmm.
in the manner that we did, or how quickly it went. Like everything could have went differently. Just, putting egos aside, apologizing to one another and actually being civil and having that respect for each other at the end of the day is all you really need to do. I feel so much better just doing that, because that ex-member is a founder of a different team, and all of her members pretty much are our ex-members. So to kind of have that talk with her and air everything out and apologize and be cool with each other now, I feel so much better about it. And I feel like that's important to do, because like you said, like at the end of the day, all of us are ghost hunting. Like, why are people fighting? Why are people hating one another? Why is there a competition? None of it makes sense, like whatsoever. We should be doing this because we enjoy doing it, not to like fight with people. I don't know. I don't understand it. That's why I'm if I cross people that have issues with me and I have issues with them, I'm just blocking them and moving forward.
Well,
I don't want to deal with it anymore.
it'd be different. It'd be different if there was like, say, if we were all in the medical field and we were all doctors, and we're all in the same. We're all brain surgeons. There are
Yeah.
certain processes and there's certain education and certain skill sets that are very specific to that. And
Yeah.
maybe I could say, Amanda's a better brain surgeon than me. She's done it longer. She has this many more operations. She's had this many people successfully go through the operations, versus I had a few that were kind of like, but and you got something, right? Where you can kind of, but the thing about the whole paranormal stuff is there's not that. I mean, people like to try to say that it's a pseudoscience. I mean, there's really nothing that.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of fancy theories, and some of them are a lot more out there than others. But at the end of the day, it's like we're just all just kind of out there, just hoping that something sticks.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tend to lean more on the technology side of it. So sometimes, when people show me pictures and like, oh, that's an orb, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just dust. But but again, it's like I don't know for sure. It's like the argument of EVPs are you really picking up a ghost voice on a digital recorder with this frequency range and that, or is it that the energy, it's manipulating the energy in form and stuff? I mean, there's different theories there. I don't know. I don't know what works. All I know is that sometimes you play it back and you hear stuff.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not it's your mind trying to make sense of what it is and form words. Those are the ones that always get me, is when someone's like, oh, this thing said this, this, and this. It's like, well, you've already said what you think it is. So you've already kind of conditioned my brain to listen just for that. The ones that really get me are the ones that are like, hey, Scott, go off and listen to this. I'm not going to tell you anything. And I come back and I go, oh, this said this right here. And they're like, yep, that's what I was thinking too. Because then it's like, okay, it's my own brain. It's my own faculties figuring that out. But
and that's funny, when you bring that up, is I always feel like I have always sucked at figuring out what an EVP is saying, or even something from a spirit box. Oh, I'm awful at the SB7, SB11, all of that. I don't, more than half the time, I don't know what the hell's coming out of them things. I'm sitting there trying so hard, and I'm like, I'm not hearing what other people are hearing. Even with just a basic recorder, we've, for the first time ever, have gotten a full sentence EVP on just a basic Sony recorder when we went to the Detroit 6 Police Precinct. Need to check that out if you haven't. Ed Steele's place is amazing. I love that place. We were in a jail cell. It was just me and him. We sure as hell didn't whisper, and we caught a full sentence, a whisper. And Scott was the first one listening to it, and he had his headphones in, and he looks over and he smiles at me. And he's just like, "Oh my God!" And he's like, "You got to listen to this." So he's having me listen. He's like, what does it sound like to you? And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I don't know. I'm hearing some words, but I have no idea what it's saying. And he kept trying to like change the volume and have me continue to listen. I'm like, I'm still not sure. But then the moment he did say it, and then when I kept playing, I'm just like, okay, the words really do come together. But I'm glad that he picked that up before I did. But things like that. That's definitely going to be the challenge for our YouTube series, is when we are trying different equipment. I'm going to try to do the Estes method with him a couple times. We're going to try out the SB7, probably our SB11, whatever else, and see what we can get from it. I know people have their opinions with the Necrophonics app. I do have it. I use it here and there. I feel like it's something for entertainment purposes, but other than that, I don't know if I can fully say that I believe the stuff that comes out of it. It's really hard for me to.
I got that. So what would you say is your go-to or favorite device? And the device can also be your own perception, because Jenna will say her own stuff.
I am actually a big fan of trigger objects. I know it's probably cliche because like so many people use them, but that always gets me excited when I leave cat balls or just.
I'm all about flashy balls. That's like my go-to. And I know some people are like, really? Here comes Scott's flashy ball, yay! But
we lost stuff too. I still gotta buy some more.
I'm like, I get excited. I'm easily entertained. I guess I'm like a cat. It's like, cool. It's flashy.
But oh goodness, sorry, I had to laugh. My kid is walking by saying, "I need toilet paper," because she just used the bathroom and ran out. Okay. But trigger objects, anything I feel like that has a sensor going off. Like for instance, what I just bought and got the Ghost Tunes.
The Paratronics thing.
Yes, I just got that. I'm super excited. It's just like the Paranormal Music Box, but cheaper. Yeah. I feel like it's probably going to work even better because it doesn't just have, the sensor in the front.
Yep.
It'll actually pick up any area, that's near it. So I'm excited to put that to use.
Austin brought one of those out when we were at South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Yeah.
It's the first time and not only is it, and again, I'm a Steve Jobs guy where it's like more the design of the object is cool too. And just the fact that it looks cool and it's got the little music box thing on it, to me that's cool. It's like, oh, it does this stuff too. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys do with that, because I've been real close to pulling trigger on that as well. Because I'm like,
yeah, there's a couple of different items that have caught my eye that I want to end up getting for us. I know another one. I always forget what it is called. You might know what it's called, but it's this device that shaped like a triangle, right? It has a red light and a green light, almost like yes or no question.
Yeah, Jenna would know what that is. I know exactly what you're talking. I know I visualize what it is. It almost reminds me of the old Simon game. It's only got 3 colors, right? Yeah.
Yep. Scott really wants it. I was originally almost going to get that instead of the Ghost Tunes box, but I was like, you know what? We used to have the Paranormal Music box before we gave it to one of our ex-members when we split up. So I was just like, we should probably get another one of those. I really liked the one that we had. So, but
Damn it,
I mean,
now I gotta get around a bit more and see if he's got any in stock. You're making me want to spend money. So.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, I know it's not cheap, but hey, it's cheaper than the actual paranormal music box. Anymore, you look at that and it's like Jesus. You're looking at almost, what is it, $400 for those things?
What they are, yeah. And it's like, whew.
Yeah, like
I mean,
I feel like I can't justify spending that amount of money again, to get one of those. So instead, I would prefer to get multiple pieces of equipment to try out at locations when we're filming that are cheaper. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout. And if anybody that's watching this has any suggestions too on what type of equipment you may want, us to check out, I'd appreciate that too. Because I definitely.
If you're a vendor out there and you want to sponsor Amanda and Scott, there you go.
Yeah, I know. I actually brought that topic up to Scott days ago, but he's like, kind of want to get some content first before we actually get, involved with sponsors.
That's just crazy talk.
We had an offer today to be working with a sponsor too. Gary Woodward, actually, he's coming up with a new one. And, I said, hey, either way, I appreciate the offer. I'll have to get with Scott on that. But, again, we kind of want to be able to put some form of content out there before, because I would hate to get involved with somebody where not that I don't think we'll be doing anything, but I wouldn't want to be in that position to like get involved with somebody that isn't even doing anything or putting anything out there yet,
Well, one thing, at least for me, and maybe you're the same way, is I'd hate for my content to be every 5 minutes. And this is brought to you by this device, sponsored by whatever.
Yes.
It's like, come visit Amazon or whatever. And it's like, wait, is this just becoming an advertisement for a bunch of gear? And it's like, oh, well, now we're going to use this device that really has no context in this investigation, but because we were sponsored and we're required to put it on camera kind of thing.
I kind of want to
do that except for the big shows, but still, it's kind of, I mean, as a tech geek, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's cool. Now I got to see what's going on with that. Who made that? And it's like some of the builders, I know their stuff well enough that even though they don't necessarily advertise what they are, I'm like, oh, that's Jay Prather's device, or that's that. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's after a while, it's like, man, product placements just gets out of hand on some of these things.
What I think would be funny though, and Scott and I have talked about this, obviously aside from the fear factor of our series and everything, we almost want to purposely have humor in it. We want people to still see the humorous side of us and how we probably behave when we are scared sometimes, which I'm sure people are going to see that if I find any spiders anywhere I'm at, everybody's going to be seeing the way that I'm going to react to that. So that
you guys need to get sponsored by Fitbit. You all wear the Fitbit tracker, your guest, and you play that into it. So, and if you can get Scott on your video feed to show like the stat bar at the bottom, almost like a video game, where it would show like here's the pulse and that, and then suddenly it's going crazy or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I like that idea. I'm all for that. I think that'd be cool. And even then, just adding the humor of what if I do slip in that what you just said in one of our videos. What if I I go from being by myself in a dark area and let's say an asylum or something, and I'm sitting there and then I just out of nowhere, this is brought to you by, and then just start talking about something. Oh,
now's a good time to talk about whatever paramedic. Keep your breath good during
Oh my gosh, they would love us though if we were doing that.
Especially if it was like things that really make like they don't seem like they would fit in. It's like, well, no, I just saw spiders. This episode's now brought to you by the pens or something like that because of what I just did.
Get a freaking bug killer or something.
Yeah, raid.
Oh boy,
whoever makes that stuff.
Phil just said, just don't let Scott talk you into an IPA sponsor.
Oh man, Phil and his IPA beers.
Oh man, Scott is all about those. That's all he drinks anymore, and then he wonders why he has a little bit of a beer gut going on. He's gonna hate me. sees
Guys,
this.
I don't know if you have there's a brewery. It used to be microbrewery. Now it's gotten a lot larger. It's called Mad Tree. It's out of Cincinnati, Ohio, which is where we're from. They
Yeah.
have one called a Galaxy High, which is it's basically the equivalent of like a triple IPA. This thing has got like 9 to 10% alcohol per beer, but it's like super smooth. Yeah, I haven't drank that in a while, but
Oh,
that's like it's very much a cheap date night. I mean, like where
yeah.
they only sell it in a 4-pack, and there's a reason for that because it's like if you get through 4 and you're still if you're still standing, then you probably have a problem.
You know, I was gonna say too, you know, aside from just having our new YouTube channel up for our series, you know, obviously for a successful channel, they kind of, you know, YouTube's weird. They want you to keep up with making videos constantly,
Yeah.
right? So me and Scott are thinking of like just entertaining, funny, informative things to put. You know, we're going to do unboxing equipment to just like explain and show people what we've got, what it does. We might have like a show where it's kind of like oh my god, what am I BuzzFeed. You know BuzzFeed, guys?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those guys were they got
Yes,
this like
they have this
the straight
this
laced
new
guy, the
one.
guy that's scared of everything. You know, so
They have this new one with this idea that I absolutely love, and I told Scott we need to do this. Um, they have this new little channel of what they do where they get drunk and they're reading people's ghost stories, but it's really off the wall, funny, weird type of stories. So they start to get more and more drunk during every like episode,
like
and they just still laughing their butts off.
Have you ever seen Drunk History? It's kind of the same thing, but it's about history.
Yeah,
And there's like it sounds like the same thing, only they're doing ghost stories. So
yeah,
I'm sure they put
did
a lot of
something.
commentary in there.
Yeah, I think doing something like that would be entertaining. And then I also think, you know, just like I know we did this actually live in the past, but I put makeup on Scott and then Scott put makeup on me. And I think we could like take turns doing that while we're talking about ghost stuff and just kind of put that on our YouTube as well. I think that would be pretty entertaining for people. You know, just coming up with all these different ideas and kind of just like add to it, I think would be entertaining for people since we're trying to primarily work on the YouTube aspect of things more than anything now, which honestly I'm intimidated by it because I'm not used to using YouTube whatsoever. Never have. So this is new.
You guys just did the TikTok route. I heard that you had a pretty lucrative career going in TikTok with some of the videos there, and then you can make them short, sweet, to the point, and get all the viewers, and then get your sponsorships and everything. You know, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen people be successful. We're friends with Mary Jo Chudley from Penn Paranormal. I just saw she posted it the other day. She has 1 million followers, I believe, on her TikTok now because she primarily will make goofy paranormal videos or like informative paranormal videos. I only have a couple for us of, you know, places we went to, but frankly, I'm kind of lazy and I don't like to go out of my way to make TikTok videos unless if I will go on there and find something really funny to make a duet out of, I'll do it. But for the most part, I don't have the creativity that some people have. So
I don't even have a TikTok account. I can't keep up. I barely have a Twitter account. I never use it.
Oh, I hate Twitter.
It's like Instagram, Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube's about all I can manage. Otherwise,
I have a Twitter out there somewhere, but I never use it. I hate it. I don't want to make it for any of our paranormal stuff. It's a waste of my time. I feel like it's. I don't like the way Twitter's set up, to be honest. I don't care for it. So more primarily, the haunted ones is going to be on Instagram, which it used to be Scar Encounters. In case if anybody's knowing, I'm still making updates, but it is changed for the most part. Hopefully in a couple of days, you will see our Scar Encounters page change to the haunted ones as well. We'll see what happens. I'm going to cry myself to sleep if it never changes. But
well, you know, if then you just have to do the whole like and follow drive. Hey, Facebook is fight the power of Facebook and come over here and join. We need you on this page, kind of thing.
Oh, man, it's going to be rough, you know, if I do have to switch
out, saying that they locked your account for something that you posted that they blocked your account for some reason unfairly, and the way you're going to show them is they need to go over this page and show Facebook that
Yeah, pretty
you
much
support them or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how things go. Worst case scenario, like I said, if I have to start from scratch, then I'll do it and see how it goes from there. You never know, because frankly, for how many likes we have on our Scar Encounters page, we actually get a lot more viewers on our podcast, actually on our Paranormal People page, more than anything else, more than RU Media, more than our Scar Encounters. I have our podcast stream on 3 different pages all at one time through StreamYard.
Yep.
Every time we look at the statistics while we're live, more people are watching it through the Paranormal People page, and that page only I think has maybe like 1,400 something on it right now. And I'm thinking, man, like we got good viewership on this page. Like maybe if we start from scratch on the haunted ones, we'll get the same thing. Because I'll be honest with you, we have so many people on Scar Encounters that I bet you there's a good percentage of people on there that don't even know who we are, what this is. They just found it through somebody else and liked the page and have no idea what the fuck it is.
They just click on it.
Yeah, because we've actually, it's funny, I think it was on a podcast or live or something, we've had random people that came in through there and they're just like, what is this? Who are you? Where are you guys at? It's like, get out of here.
I'm from this country, just tuning in for the first time. Hi.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I'm open to if we need to start on a whole new slate, it is what it is. But it will be depressing since I did put a lot of work into the Scar Encounters page, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I submitted the request to Facebook earlier today. It says something about 3 days, so we'll see what happens. We don't officially, I think Eileen was in the comments earlier. She ended up asking how filming was for us. We have not actually started filming our first episode for the series quite yet. That's actually going to be, oh God, let me look at my calendar because I don't remember anything. I have a calendar that I put on our desk. But actually, I think
this really one big. How big that calendar is, people.
It's big. I have a second one somewhere too. That's my podcast one, so I still don't even know when our investigation is. It's on the Scar Encounters page, but I think it's the beginning of March where our first location is going to be Stimson Hospital. I believe it'll be just me and Scott filming there. I'm not sure if we're going to have other people with there.
Scott, the dude here, is he just joining us? I think he
is. I was going to say he is on his lunch break. Is he joining?
Let me throw him on here real quick. See if I can. There he is. The dude abides.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
I had to. Oh, I am like super close.
There you go.
All right.
I'm sharing it now so people know you're on here.
And what we did do, we talked about, and maybe at this point, most of the people that are watching this have already seen your guys' teaser video, but we were going to show it on this too, and we never did that yet. So at some point, if we want to do that, or if you feel like we still need to do that, we can. But I don't want to take up Scott's time because you're only on here for a short time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have until 9 o'clock, basically.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, he's got time. The video only lasts 45 seconds anywye.
Well, I mean, we can show it now if you guys want to. It's up to you. I mean, how you want to?
Yeah, if you got it ready.
Hang on, let me see. Let's see what I got here. There we go. So, folks, we're going to show their teaser video for the new setup here. I won't give anything away in case some people, so you guys can hear that. Okay. There it was. Very cool. That was very cool. Yay!
Thank you.
The crowd goes wild. I was admiring. I'm like, there's a couple shots for you guys from behind. I'm like, is he holding the controller for the drone? I'm like, how's he pulling that off? Is somebody else flying that drone? Because Jenna got me a drone for Christmas, and I haven't been able to take it outside yet. So I've been trying to fly it in the house. And there's considerably more of a learning curve to flying the drone than I ever thought there would be. As much she got me one that has like the little safety things around the propellers so that I don't break it. But I'm like, you know what? It'll be a while before I can actually do any kind of footage with that thing. And I know you had a. Did you have a duck or something hit yours in mid-flight or a goose?
Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I had the DJI Mavic Mini, the first series, and yeah, I got attacked by a goose. I didn't, my drone did, and it died. And thanks to my secret investor, my mom, she hooked me up and lent me the money to get a second one because she knew we had this filming thing coming up. Yeah, so I got the DJI Mavic Mini 2, and I mean, I'll tell you, I had a couple of the other ones as well, different brands. These DJIs are amazing. I mean, they fly themselves. Definitely worth it. But yeah, actually, that clip, the one of us, the actual photo is actually just taken from my camera, and I have the app on my phone where I can control my camera with my phone. So that's how I did that one. But the drone, yeah, I actually was flying it in the circle shot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was tricky.
Yeah, because like I said, I've tried flying around, and apparently I haven't played enough flight simulator video games or something, because it's like I'm crashing it, I'm scaring the dogs and everything else with it. I'm like, yeah, it's going to take me a little bit longer to get mine going to where I can do stuff. But
you know, it's funny when I think the very first person that I sent the teaser video to was Adam Kimmel. Okay. And that was actually one of the first things he said. What was it, Scott? Didn't he say something about what kind of black magic was that? When it came to not seeing like him holding the controller or anything.
Yeah. There's one shot where it looks like he might have it in his hands kind of up close from behind. I was like, oh, maybe that's how he's. There was a couple where it was spinning around you. I'm like, oh, okay. No, that was cool.
Yeah.
I think and we can get into this. I think you guys set up the whole, even, I know it's not supposed to be about the Fairfield Infirmary, but as somebody that went there, and I love that place, I've been there twice already, the mood of that place. And I've seen some of your guys' still photos that you've taken, just even with your phone and stuff. And that place is just really cool. I mean, just the way it's laid out, it's like you walk in there and you're like, this is going to be fun. It just got that kind of.
Yeah, for sure. I know even just the moment we stepped in there, I felt a lot of energy going on in there, and it's very eerie. It's very easy to get lost in from what I was seeing already, and I'm like, man, I'm looking forward to being able to actually film there.
When you pull up to it, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a building, but when you get inside there and they're like, oh, it's this many floors and this many rooms, you're like, what? And then stairwell wells that lead to nowhere, stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay. I probably need to pay more attention to where I'm walking at this point. But yeah, we got in there right away. It was like, like I told you before, I don't usually get a lot of evidence myself. And that was the few times that I got, I was all giddy and cussed on camera because I'm like, oh, my flashy ball went off and it moved by itself. Oh, wow. And so it was funny because even, do you guys know Patience, that's one of the volunteers that works there? You said Addie. So she's with Addie and them. So Patience was up there. She went back, I think it was it January the 9th, went into the same room I was in, put a ball down there, and she's got a video going, do you remember Scott? And as soon as she said that, it went off again. And I was like, yes, the ghost remember me. It's like, I don't care if you talk bad about me or you talk good about me, as long as you talk about me, because then I'm relevant. So it's like, so there's some somewhere they're like, remember me for something. Because when I was on camera the first time, I was like, hey, are you going to show me something? Or am I scaring you? Is it the beard? And as soon as I said, is it the beard, that ball curved and rolled to the side and went off.
Yeah.
That closet, I was over there trying to see, is the floor sloped? Is there a spot in it? Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty cool. I got excited. It's the simple things in life.
It really is.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to investigate there yet. We just went there for a photo
Yeah,
op, basically.
it's a cool place. It's definitely. I'm sure you guys will get back there soon. It's really fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That quickly became one of Jenna and mine's favorite spots. And like I said, we've only been there. We went there twice in December, so that was the first time we were there was last December. And we're like, okay. And it's for us. It's maybe like I think it's just over 2 hours away, so it's not that far.
Yeah.
So it's like it's I like what they've done with it. It's just a very cool place to do an investigation. So I highly recommend to anybody that's listening.
Yeah, for sure.
Go out there and check it out.
Yeah, I look forward to being able to actually like investigate there. We'll have that in the works. I mean, obviously, we took the time to have the teaser video there, so I'm in touch with Kimmel and Addie, so that way we can, book an overnight and be able to film with them there. It's just a matter of getting, meeting in between with their schedule, pretty much in between also things that we have going on ourselves. But yeah, I'm very excited for the upcoming things that we have going on for this year and just being able to collaborate with different faces. I know we have been talking with you, and Jenna as well. So I'm excited to be able to work with you guys too.
Yeah, that'll be a fun time. I think that'll be a blast. And I know Scott's got his work cut out of him with this video series. You're going to be doing a lot of editing and stuff. And she said you're kind of addicted to those bang drinks, right? These as we go on camera and we say bang, the choice of paranormal investigators everywhere.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah.
If there's any sponsors out there for this drink,
I actually
wink, wink. I have slept in days.
Right. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I probably have like 5 or 6 empty ones on my floorboard over there.
I bet if he pans down to his floorboard, they're like all scattered around. It's like you may have a problem. No, officer, those aren't beer cans. That's aren't beer cans at all. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
Sorry, you cut out there for a minute.
Oh
yeah. She doesn't ride my car anymore ever since she got her new car, so mine's become a mess.
Yeah. Like they say, artistic people aren't necessarily the most organized people. Like you usually have, there's the logical people and the artistic people, and sometimes you meet in the middle or you switch back and forth and stuff. So
I think I go back and forth because it depends. If I'm at work, I'm really clean. If I'm in my car, I'm not.
Well, yeah, you spend all that time all day long. It's like, why do I want to do this now? It's like, it's just my car. It's getting me.
Meanwhile,
it basically just gets me to and from work.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's see. Oh, we haven't even talked about you brought up the paranormal people earlier, and I wanted to come back to that and kind of, for those that are maybe new to that, how did that get started? How long has that been going? What was kind of what got you into that? Because I know.
So interestingly enough, I know from the get-go, people saw that it started off as just me and Scott. We just had a Scar Encounters live podcast that we were doing together, putting people in there. It was always just me and him used to doing that. We originally had Joshua Dilla. We kind of crossed with him, through other people, added each other on Facebook. He watched a couple of our lives, and he reached out and he just kind of entertained the idea of us all getting together to basically all be co-hosts and do one podcast together. So, I talked to Scott about it, and I liked the idea, having other people working besides, just me and him doing it. So I came up with the name The Paranormal People. We just kind of put a whole new page. We brought some co-hosts that were friends of ours. Josh, he does have his own podcast, so he's kind of doing his own thing, and he went his separate way on that end. But we do have David Childers, who has joined it recently. He's been very helpful and great. We got Kirsten Joy, which actually is a really good friend of ours that we met when we went to the Wilson Castle event.
that Matt Warner basically was hosting months back. And then we have Amanda Sutton, which she's been a good friend of ours in the field since we first started this thing. We investigated with her and her crew, the Paranormal XL at the time. And she's got her own team going on now, Dust to Dawn Paranormal.
Okay.
But yeah, we all kind of got together, did our thing. We've been trying very hard to just get, good guests on there. It doesn't even necessarily need to be like famous names or, any of that. It can be people that are on teams or duos, just about anybody, anybody that I think has an entertainment factor to it. We try
Really, anybody, huh? Anybody that's entertaining?
Considering last, yeah. I know if she was watching, she'd just be laughing at what I just said. But,
meanwhile, Scott's over here munching on his food.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
it's my lunch break.
Yeah, I was going to say he's sponsored by Bang and Little Debbie's. Nothing. Quality meal.
Is that what you're eating? Is Little
I look
Debbie's?
like a Little Debbie. Maybe not, but
It was a fudge round.
yeah. See.
Oh, he didn't take my Swiss rolls. I was going to be so mad if you took my Swiss rolls.
God. It's like my spirit animal, Scott.
Oh yeah.
I literally.
I mean,
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
the same name. We basically are spirit brothers.
Yeah.
I just got that
And he's
extra
a
T on there for effect.
Yeah. My parents couldn't afford that. They were poor peasants. They couldn't afford the extra T. They figured. My mom always told me, "Oh, it's just redundant," but I knew better. I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because both of you are skeptics, so that also is why you guys will mesh well when we all are investigating together.
Now,
Yeah.
Scott, where are you guys at again?
We're from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay. All right.
So south of you guys, just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
3 hours.
Yeah. So we've talked about. I guess we won't really talk about what some of the locations we've talked about teaming up at. We got to keep some mystery. One for my show, our show, and your guys' show. We can't give everybody everything.
Got to keep it on the down low.
That's right. And but yeah, we've definitely discussed hanging out and doing some stuff together. So that should be fun. Yeah, it's just like I was telling Amanda earlier. I'm not super serious with this. I mean, I am. I'm super serious from the point of view that I am a skeptic, but I also feel like there's a certain amount of humor that you got to bring to this. As far as, I mean, you're spending time in usually dark, dusty buildings that are cold, looking for things that maybe exist or don't exist. So you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. And some people get so hardcore into this, almost like a religious fanaticism about, oh, this is this and this and this and this. And it's got to be this way. And I'm kind of more like, I like going in there. And of course, Jenna and I mesh really well because I'm kind of like the comedy factor of our team. She's the more serious. Like her thing is she loves to do EVPs and that. And then I walk in the room and it's either I've eaten pizza the night before and it's evident on the EVP, or
right.
I come in and I'm on Facebook going, "Hey everybody, what's going on?" And she's like, "You just walked in the middle of," and I kicked that she's got like a REM pod sitting on the floor, and I'm like the elephant in the china shop. Like I'm running in, knocking stuff over, and she's like, "Really? Can you not just keep going?" And I'm like,
"Oh yeah, I get it."
But she says
she likes to hide our motion sensor in different locations because I'm jumpy. I spent my early 20s looking for bombs in Afghanistan. Sudden noises usually startle me.
Yeah, so you've got a little bit of the PTSD type stuff. You're like the Hurt Locker guy.
Sometimes. But no, she'll hide the motion sensor around, and I'll turn a corner and not even know it's there. Just completely forget. I'll put it down somewhere and forget that I put it down there and walk through, and it scares the shit out of me every time. But that's usually pretty evident. Or the gas. I'm kind of known for always having gas, so that's not something I ever tried.
It must be something with that name. It must be something with
Yeah.
that. It's like Jenna's like, you cannot eat pizza the night before we go on investigation. I cannot deal with that. So usually, Amanda, you can appreciate this because this is I probably shouldn't even say this, but we're all friends here. When we were at Fairfield Infirmary last time, I had ate pizza the night before, and I had to use the bathroom in there, and it was bad. It was bad, and that was the one time. Usually, Jenna brings Febreze specifically for that, and you've been in that bathroom, so you know kind of what that's like.
Yeah.
She's like, "Why? Why would you do this? Adam's never going to invite us back."
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I don't even try. I mean, it's natural. I think actually on Amanda and I's very first date, we were talking about this last night. I took her out to get authentic tacos, like real tacos.
Yeah.
And we actually went back to my apartment. Not what you're thinking, but we did go back to my apartment just to kind of sit and chat and everything. We're sitting on the couch, and I don't care. It's an icebreaker for me. If you laugh, we're meant to be. If you get disgusted and turn your nose up, that's going to be the last date because you can't be around me if you can't deal with that.
Because I'm not going to hold the rest of our time together. That's just painful.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like I just let it go right there on the couch, and she just started laughing, and that's when I knew it. At that point, I was like, "Yep, she's the one." She laughed. Yep.
See, we've got a French bulldog and an English bulldog, which are both known for horrendous gas. And
I love English bulldogs.
So between myself and the dogs, Jenna doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't stand a chance. She's like, I almost want to get COVID, so I can't smell anything anymore.
Well, hey, I do got to get back in and hit the clock.
Well, it's cool seeing you, man.
A long night ahead of me. Yeah, thanks for inviting me in.
No problem.
Definitely look forward to the future with pairing up sometime.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.
Love you, babe. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Oh, he was talking to you. He was talking to you. Boy, that was awkward.
I had to add that in there, otherwise you might message me and be like, "You didn't say you loved me."
Is everything okay? You didn't respond back. You didn't give me the heart. What's going on?
Man. I tell you what, that man says he's so skeptic and he's dead inside when it comes to all this, but he gets me to a T when it comes to like picking up on my emotions if something's wrong. Like even if something's not wrong sometimes, or just slightly, if I had an off day, he's able to tell just like that. And it's like, man, can you just for one day, like pretend I'm okay and don't say anything?
Jenna's telling me don't crap talk. Our dogs are crap. I'm telling you, for such a little dog, it is the smelliest thing I have ever smelled in my life. I mean,
really? Oh man.
Yeah. I love them. They are adorable. But
we one of our kitten, Max, the gray kitten that you see me take pictures of a lot.
Yep.
He takes the smelliest poops. Oh my gosh. He is the smelliest cat ever. Like I always yell at him because he makes the whole hallway and living room smell. I just knew when he came out of the spare room. When he was a kitten, when we just got him, he got fixed early, when we got him. And I think the medicine that they gave him and the food that they gave us to give him was making his stomach just upset. Because, man, when he would use the bathroom, he had not only smelly poop, but his gas was really bad. I've never smelled something so bad from an animal in my life. It was up there right with Scott. So
we're talking about paranormal farting. That's no. So you got to stay with us, Nick. We jump around a lot. We went from talking about serious stuff like ghost hunting and everything else to talking about our pets' gas problems and our issues. But we're all friends here.
And it's so funny because when it comes to investigating, I can't even tell you how many EVPs we've gotten where Scott is farting, and you just hear me. You hear the tone in my voice. I'm over it because I'm so used to it. There's this one that it was a really good one.
Mark it. You go, Scott just farted on this time frame. Mark 7. Move on, kind of thing.
There was this one when we were at the 6th precinct, actually in that jail cell, and you hear me say something, and then just out of nowhere, Scott lets out this really long, drawn-out fart. And while it's still going, you hear me go, Jesus Christ. Like, it didn't even sound like I was entertained whatsoever. I was annoyed by it. And he shows everybody it when, like, we meet people. He's just like, listen to this. This is so funny.
We were, early on, we went to, in West Virginia, there's the Haunted Shawnee Amusement Park. It's like this old abandoned amusement park. And
Oh, yeah, I've heard about
everything.
it. Yeah.
And the Tennessee Race Chasers were there. And so public event, so we show up there, and it was the Tennessee Race Chasers, and it was Steve and Tango from Ghost Nation, and so they each had like different areas of the park where they were doing these little, their little ghost hunts or whatever. So I got a camera, and there's one session where Jen and I were a little bit farther ahead from people, and I wasn't trying to be rude, but you got gas, and it's painful. And these people were trying to do EVPs, and I thought they were far enough back on the trail, but apparently. No, and then like they're playing it back going, what is that? That sounds like some kind of demon. I'm like, it felt like it was tacos, but Jenna's like, oh Lord. She's like, please, just why?
And you know what's always entertaining too is when you're investigating also, and you get the stomach gargles, and it sounds like a demon when your stomach's making noises. It never fails. My stomach always is making a noise everywhere that we go.
Well, I never realized that I have trouble sitting still as much as I do until we like got to sit in a room, and because I got normally a camera, and it's like I need you to sit in this chair, and we're gonna do an EVP. Everybody be quiet, and then it's like either my leg starts tightening up, or my stomach gurgles, or something happens. It's like really. So
yeah. Oh, I get it.
It's part of the occupational hazard that comes along with that stuff.
It's all in good fun though. You got to have fun while you're investigating. Can't be serious the whole time.
I think so. I mean, yeah, I think it's important to be serious when you're trying to, what you're trying to gather evidence wise.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
And it's like if it's all serious, I think, and I don't know. I don't think I'd be in it if I couldn't have a little bit of humor. And just kind of, especially humor myself, because it's like if you can't poke fun at yourself, then you really shouldn't be talking about anybody else or making fun of anybody else. It humor them as well. So I mean, it's all about being humble in that. But
for sure.
That's cool. So we talked. I'm trying to think. We've talked about the paranormal people. We've talked about Scar encounters becoming the new stuff, the haunted ones.
Mm-hmm.
Jenna's saying, I never sit still.
Yeah. It's hard to sit still, man. Like, I get that. I have a hard time too when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, without giving away like too much as far as like upcoming places, or ones that I just booked today. I know we want to head south. That's one area that we haven't really covered, is going more south. Heck, even, oh my God, I'm trying to get my directions. West. Yeah, we haven't really went west too much. So I'd like to be able to go that direction too when it comes to traveling. So, and I'm sure a lot of people also saw my post last night. The number one location that has had my eye for years that I need to make happen, and it will fulfill my year. And just doing the paranormal, it will fulfill it for me, is going to the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember the shows back then, like Scariest Places on Earth.
Sure.
I remember when I first started watching paranormal shows with my mom. I think I was maybe about 13 or 14 years old when I watched an episode that was about the Villisca Axe Murder House. And I remember it sent chills down my spine. And I'm like, wow, this is so fucked up. What happened to this family?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel so bad. And it's even more scary that they never caught the person. And then the fact on top of that this house is known to be haunted, like, it's always been on my mind to check that one out. So I really just want to go there. I know especially with, empathic people, I imagine it'll get to your emotions like 10 times more. And so I know that I'm kind of risking that when I'm going to be spending the night there, but I still want to go there regardless and see what happens when we're filming, if we get some type of activity. I just feel like there's probably going to be a lot of energy going on in that house. And anybody that I've talked to has said nothing but good things about the location. So I'm even more excited to check it out.
Well, yeah, because you've got like that childhood experience in your mind
Yeah.
about it too. So
It's
it's kind of
almost
like
like
kind of
nostalgia.
facing your fear, kind of
Yeah.
like also yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
almost like a weird nostalgia, you know. It
yeah,
brings me
yeah.
back to when I first got into the paranormal field, and that was one of the first haunted places that I watched.
Well, they had
But
one. So there was I want to say it was earlier 2000s. I'm sure you've heard of Bobby Mackey's. So Bobby
yeah,
Mackey's is like right down the street from us. It's maybe like half-hour drive, and
yeah,
so we've been there a couple times. But they did. There was a guy came out with a book called Hell's Gate,
yeah.
and it was. I was trying to look up to see when this. There's no way it was 2011. It was earlier than that when the book first came out. That must be a reprint. But anyways, it hit all the news articles and everything that said Bobby Mackey's was a devil's portal, and they wrote
Yeah,
books about it, and it was huge in the news, like one of the most terrifying places in the world and stuff like that. So that really got my imagination because it was like, wow, this place is just right up the street.
yeah,
And then when we started getting into it, then you have like Waverly, which again is maybe an hour and a half away. It's like, wow, all these really kind of the big places, at least in the United States, are
yeah,
right around the bend. So it's like definitely check that out. But I'm with you. I
yeah.
wouldn't mind going out west. I'd like to get out like Nevada, New Mexico, California,
Yeah.
that
There's so
space.
many cool locations to check out that direction. It's just from where we're at, it's just quite a drive if you don't
Yeah.
end up taking a plane, you know.
We did a trip about, I forget, Jenna would have to tell me how many years ago it was. We drove from Ohio down to Savannah, Georgia, and we kind of stopped along the way. We kind of did the whole oddities map where we'd
Oh
stop
yeah,
and like the big Paul Bunyan statues and the giant ball of string or whatever the man that built the UFO in North Carolina and stuff, and just kind of
yeah,
sightsee along the way. And we did a whole week where we drove. Basically, we went Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and did the Mothman stuff, and kind of made a whole trip of it. But Savannah, Georgia, if you've never been, is a really cool place too. I mean, the whole town's built on a graveyard. They've
It's
got
crazy that you bring that up because we have a flight booked to go there at the end of next month. We're going to be spending a weekend in Savannah, Georgia. Basically, we're going to be there with Kenna Hunter, and Matt Warner is going to be going there too. I believe all of us are going to be. I'm not sure if Steve Brote is going to go there or not yet, but we're all going to basically have Kenna as our tour guide in a way. We
okay.
will be investigating. Oh man, I can't even think of what the name of it's. Something Sneed House.
Nickerson Sneed House or something like that. I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking
like
about too. Yeah,
the name doesn't stick with me, but
it's
that
you're right. It's on the
house.
Sneeds.
Something
Jenna said we
Sneed.
went.
Somebody might get it. That's in the
Is
comments.
Scott going with you? Is Scott going with you as well?
Yeah, he is. Both of
So
us
make
are
sure
going to
you
be going.
guys, from a photography perspective, you guys got to check out. I think it's Bonaventure Cemetery, which I believe is just north of the town.
Yeah,
Beautiful, and there's like tons of like Civil War Confederate. I mean, most a lot of the cemeteries up here are
yeah,
newer. At least down there, it's like those things, or you're talking that's the original colonies and stuff, and it's just beautiful. Some of they got the Spanish moss in the trees, and just as far as from a photographer's perspective, definitely spend some time in Bonaventure
yeah.
Cemetery. That's a
That
great
actually
place
might
to go.
be the
It
cemetery that
probably is.
Kenna was mentioning to me because she said that there's this one that's like amazing that she wants to show us.
There's one in
And,
town where they've got this video that looks like a kid running across it and jumping around and stuff. Um, there's one in town that you can walk to. Sorrel, I'm gonna say in Sorrel Weed. I think that's the one in New Orleans, is Sorrel Weed House. I think the one she's talking about.
oh yeah,
Um,
that could
yeah, because
be.
we did New Orleans too. But yeah, definitely. I know there's at least 2 cemeteries in Savannah. I mean, technically, any place you walk's a cemetery. But
Yeah,
Bonaventure is a little bit farther out, but you could spend hours there. And it's just, I don't know how much paranormal stuff's there, but it's just so awesome. You know,
Yeah.
getting back to the architecture and the monuments and some of the
Yeah.
beautiful grave markers and stuff. It's great.
And that's the thing about it too, is we're not even necessarily, we were originally actually going to go there to be a part of Kenna's Paracon event that she was originally having, but because of COVID and everything, she's postponing it. We didn't want to end up postponing the trip though. We wanted to still go down there and be able to see her and have a good time. So if anything, we're not really going to be so much investigating the entire time as much as we are going to just like go sightseeing and having fun, you know, with
Yeah.
friends in the field. I think we're all going to just get a B&B together and like
That's cool.
a weekend there, do that sort of thing, you know. Definitely, we're going to take lots of photos from there. I know Scott's going to be all about taking that camera out, but
and they've got. I mean, like I said, the whole city is kind of like prides itself on being haunted. So there's some great.
Yeah.
Just walking around the city, you'll find all kinds of stuff. And I looked it up. It's Nickerson Sneed House.
Yes.
Yep,
That's what it was. Yeah.
We went to a restaurant down there for our anniversary. I want to say it's called the Pink House Restaurant. And it's supposedly haunted too. And they had this whole story about, I think it's even been on shows where people were in the basement and like they're in the bathroom and doors were coming wide open and trays were getting knocked out people's hands and stuff. So yeah,
Wow.
I mean, the whole town is definitely got that vibe to it. It's a beautiful place. So you'll have, it'll be a good time.
Oh
Hopefully
yeah, I can't wait to do it.
Be nice for you in February. But we went.
Yeah, it'll be like a nice little trip before we actually start, you know, getting into the whole filming, you know, because this is a whole new ball game for us. We're going to be kept busy. You know, well, I should say he's going to be kept busy more than anything with the editing.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it, though. I really hope that, you know, everything goes well with it. And if it does go well enough, then we, you know, maybe each year we'll just have like a new season coming out with different locations that we'll be trying out. It all depends the funds too, you know, with where we want to go. But that's the goal, is to be able to go to as many different haunted locations as we can, and just working with people. And again, having the guinea pigs come with us. And I'm really trying to I'm trying to right now convince my brother to go on an investigation with us. I have not convinced him yet, and I'm trying really hard to do it, to get him to be on camera, because picturing him getting scared doing something like this is like gold to me.
Yeah. Especially if you pick people that don't fit the scared mold. You know, like very tough personality, and then suddenly they're screaming like, you know, high pitched screaming, running and stuff. That's the best.
Like my brother is actually like quite the opposite of me. He's a pretty quiet guy. He keeps to himself for the most part, and you can't really tell. You'd have a hard time being able to tell if he is scared. So to actually have something maybe potentially happen to him, or just to get his facial expression when he is by himself, walking around, having equipment going off in front of him, things like that, or if he even gets touched by a spirit, getting some form of reaction from my own brother would be amazing. So I'm trying really hard to make it happen.
Well, see, now you've spoiled it. See, if he sees this, he's going to be like, I'm not going on there now. She's setting it up.
Yeah, he's going to, oh, no, I'm not sure if I'm about that life. Because, I mean, he knows what my idea is with bringing new people. I've been in touch with some people. There's this girl that I used to work with at a job before I even had my daughter. And she's not far from here, actually, where she lives. And I said, how far are you willing to travel? And I messaged her the most recent one that I booked, and she's asking about that. So crossing my fingers that I can get her to come with us. But, you know, we're going to try doing that. You know, we'll whether people reach out to us or we reach out to them, we want to be able to have people that aren't used to doing this and have them kind of join in and make this fun and make it just raw and real for viewers to watch. The goal of the series is, you know, I feel like, you know, obviously not to, you know, talk down about anybody's ideas with their own series that they have, but it is so common to see, you know, investigators, everybody going in groups, you know, nobody really doing too many fear challenges or doing things by themselves things that would scare you or just put you on the spot. Like the goal is to really go outside of our bubble for the series, and we want to like push other people outside of their bubbles too. So I think that adds a whole other level of entertainment for people to do it that way.
No, I think that'd be cool because I mean anytime you push somebody outside their bubble, you just never know what you're going to get from it, especially
Exactly.
the fear stuff. I mean, it can make for some great entertainment.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
make sure you get disclaimers signed.
I know.
Have the defibrillators and stuff on standby.
Maybe bring an extra pair of underwear too.
Yeah, it depends to sponsor you because it's like I know Scott was talking about like you like to when you were mentioning he said you like to hide the meters and stuff and freak them out. I was thinking to myself that there was a couple times that Jenna's done something similar. Only what she'll do is she knows I get preoccupied with the camera, and so we were up at the Mansfield Reformatory, Ohio State Reformatory, and I thought I was on the third floor by myself. And at the time, I had a like a GoPro night vision on my head, and I was using my phone as a monitor. So I'm just looking at my phone, and I'm walking ahead, and I thought I was up there by myself, and I'm peeking in each of the cells and all that. All of a sudden, I peek in there, and her on camera, she's got the black hair and all that. Well, on camera and in infrared, she looks pale white. Her black hair is now white. She normally wears black, so it's now white. So imagine, well, I mean, she looked pretty scary on there. Love her to death, hon. But anyways, so I peeked in this room, and all of a sudden there was this ghostly woman in there that just went boo, and I went motherfucker, and I screamed and took off running. And there was one of the hosts was sitting in a chair at the very end of the hall, like for security or whatever, and they started laughing so hard. And I'm sitting there like, it was me, and I'm like, Jesus, don't do that. I was so much into my own mind, and I'm looking on camera, and I'm I was not expecting to see a human figure sitting in that space.
Yeah.
But she's done that a few other times too, where she'll wander ahead, and I'll get kind of distracted, and she'll come up. She hasn't touched me or anything like that. I don't know how that would play out. But yeah, she's definitely been like, boo.
Yeah, I'm one of those people where it wouldn't be good to like scare me by like randomly touching me, because I react where I usually throw a punch or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's how I quickly react. Is I'm gonna slap, do something. So always like, don't joke around like that. If anything else, motion sensor, put it in a spot I don't know, make it go off. That's one thing. And the one that always scares Scott that I tend to use, it's actually it's a sensor that you can get off of GoStop. I bought it off of there a while back, and it has different types of sounds that come through, but the one that always seems to scare him the most is it sounds like a loud doorbell. And I'll put it on that, and I'll just randomly put it somewhere, wherever we're investigating at. And he won't know that I put it there. And you'll be a couple of feet away, or even in a whole different area. You'll hear him just out of nowhere yell, Jesus Christ, or just fuck, or he'll make some kind of loud noise.
Yeah. And in Jenna's defense, around the house, apparently she thinks I'm always sneaking around. I walk very lightly.
I do the same thing.
Everybody else in our house, like our daughters who are tiny and petite, sound like a 300-pound gorilla coming down the steps. I mean, it's like, I've never heard people or seen people that were so tiny make so much noise and man. Yeah. So, but like, and Jenna will get so much in her own headspace, and I'll come up behind her and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she'll be like, "Ah, why don't you make more noise?" So now, like when she has a project room down in her basement where she does a lot of her artwork and stuff. So I literally, when I come downstairs, I have to like beat against the walls and stuff and flash the lights and everything and be like, I'm showing up. Here I am. Because there's been a couple times I've almost been slapped before because she's like, why do you sneak up on me for? I'm like, I wasn't. I was just walking.
I'm the same way though. I walk really light everywhere I go, and I'm always managing to scare somebody unintentionally. So I'm really good at that. I probably would for investigations too. So maybe that'll end up being something that I'm going to end up doing to you guys.
Yeah, we'll have to do bits in the little cameras and stuff, and see if we can what we can come up with there. That'd be pretty hilarious. I still think that'd be hilarious. You see everybody spike when their pulse goes up or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, I've only told my brother about the location that I just booked for April 3rd. If you guys are going to be available for April 3rd, that is on a Saturday. I'm not going to say it on here, but I will message you what the location is. If you guys even want to kind of do like a thing where you carpool with us, we're totally fine with that. If you need a place to stay in between, when we're heading back or something, we can always, we can figure something out too.
Okay.
Because I know the drive will probably be much more longer for you guys than it is going to be for us. I'll give you a hint though. This one is, if I remember right, oh gosh, I don't remember. It's between 6 or 9 hours.
For you guys?
Up.
Well, it's not in Canada, right? So it's not in Canada. So let's see where you guys are at. Basically.
I will tell you, it is heading west.
Okay.
I'm getting it mixed up with Villisca as far as distance. So I can't remember if it's 6 or 9 hours for us. I just know it's going to be more hours for you guys. But Scott actually mentioned, the possibility of maybe just staying at a B&B like the next day or something too, before we head back home. So I will send you the details of that one.
Okay.
See if you guys would be interested in doing something like that with us. Even if you guys did go with us, if we happen to have a guinea pig that'll be with us, then we'll make that happen. But I think it would be a cool spot too to check out if you guys want to do something new. Because I know the place that we originally were going to go with you guys is a place that you guys have been to that we haven't. But this one, I don't think any of us have been to. So it will be completely new for us. And it's a really large place. Ghost Adventures has been there, so that makes it even better too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll check with Jenna with availability, but usually, I mean, short of some of the stuff we discussed our availability before, I think that may work. So yeah, we could definitely look into that.
Yeah, for sure. I will shoot you the details once we get off of here, but I think that it will be a very exciting one to be able to film at. So I will let you know what that one is all about.
So you need to get T-shirts made that say like Subject 1 and Subject 2, or
oh my
pig,
god!
And people have to wear the shirt and walk around in their little vest, little vest.
Oh my god, I'd love that. That'd be awesome.
Me, I'm an experiment or something. I'm working.
Yeah, we actually did already we did order stickers. I forget how many we ended up getting ordered for the haunted ones, our logo and everything. Cool. I think it was one of those things where we kind of told each other we're just going to get a shirt for me and him to wear when we go to FCI Con and MadCon to, help advertise our new brand. But I mean, if we get people that are interested in getting shirts, then we'll start putting pricing out there too and advertise for that also. But I mean, just like most people, I'm one of those where it's like, you kind of want to have content and something out there before people really will care to get your stuff, I feel like. So we'll get an episode or two in, I think, before we actually start putting T-shirts and all that out.
No, yeah. No, I agree. I made for Christmas, the kids got me one of those Cricut things that cuts vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
Stickers and all that.
Wanting to get one.
My daughter had one before. So yeah, I kind of started making J&S stickers and all of our gear. Awesome. It's kind of ridiculous. It's this thing here, but this is embroidered. But I kind of went off the deep end. If there was like a spot on the gear to make a thing, that's what I did. I'm like, I want to be like Batman, where we have the bat phone and the bat EMF detector and all that. I've created a monster, but so yeah, I bought some T-shirts.
Nice. I was going to say, that's nice. Eileen just said, I'll pimp a shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll get you a shirt, Eileen, once we get them printed.
Yeah, that's what I've been. I cut my own. I did my own shirts and all that stuff for what we did, because it's like I'm too cheap though. One, I don't think we're at the point where we're gonna do anything like that merch wise or anything, but it's like I do like having it on camera so that when people are watching you, they're kind of like, oh, this is their brand. I mean, I picked that up from the Tennessee Ray Chasers. I always thought, whatever you think about them, at least you know who they are because they always wore something that had their logo. And I come from a marketing and advertising background, graphic communication stuff. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's do something like that. So at least
I'm the same way. Actually, I'm a graduate for graphic design, so I pay attention to things like that too. And that's another reason people were so used to seeing our Scar Encounters like shirts and hoodies, where all it was just like the specific font that we use for Scar Encounters, but it's all just plain black and white. And I kept thinking, man, I want something that like pops, that has like a picture, an illustration, something. So I'm so excited to be able to like print shirts off that have something visual to it other than just like the text. And speaking of stickers and stuff too, I will exchange stickers with you because we would love to have one of your guys' stickers. Sorry, my cat's like messing with stuff. Because, oh my God, I'm looking at it right now on the carpet. We have probably 4 or 5 different paranormal cases where we put all of our crap in, and at least 1 or 2 of them we put all of stickers of teams and people we support. So I will definitely want to get one of your stickers and
awesome. Yeah, we could definitely do that.
On there. We'll get you guys new stickers.
Yeah, we'll do a merch swap for sure. Yeah, that's I've been in so many bands in my life. That was the thing with our amp cases and that we'd have all the bands and stuff. So that kind of carried over into this field. We started going to these things and people were like, here's your, patches or whatever the case. I mean, I guess you don't really have paranormal war vests like, in metal bands and stuff. They have the denim vest with all the patches. Maybe we could start that. Start having a paranormal. Yeah, we could do like a denim vest and have patches of all the different paranormal teams and even like the locations we've been to.
Yeah, although like you're a good one from Ghost Adventures. You know how he's always wearing that vest?
Yeah. We could almost do like, the Cub Scouts has all the different merit badges, and we could do like, hey, I got this one at Waverly. This is for spending the night in the morgue, and then this one's for this, and this one's for that, and my first EVP.
If Nick, I'm going to kill your last name, I'm sure I will. Nick Muley, I think I'm saying it right, Nick Muley, who's been in our comments watching everything. I've seen him actually he's got like this little black vest going on that's got stickers and stuff too. So I don't know if it's like of teams and stuff, but some of it looks paranormal related. So he's got the right idea going on here.
So there may be a market there for that because a buddy of mine, he runs a shop called he's called the Monsterologist, and he does a lot of cryptozoology stuff. Very graphic art, clip art type stuff, but very cool designs. And he did a series they looked like tourist badges, but for the different cryptids and where they were located. And see, I live outside of Cincinnati in a town called Loveland, which is also known for the Loveland Frogman. So if you've ever heard of the cryptid known as the Loveland Frogman, and he made a patch of the Frogman that says Loveland, Ohio, and that, and I'm like, I have to get that to represent because I'm from there. So on my Paro bag that I have, my arm bag, it's it's got the Velcro area. I've got that patch on there.
Yeah.
So I'm a nerd like that. But he's got like a Loch Ness one, and he's got like the Chupacabra and all the different Bigfoot ones and stuff like that. So. Oh, Nick knows Monsterologist. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay.
In the comments too, and I did get his last name right, so yes.
Yeah. George is the guy behind Monsterologist. He does some great stuff, Nick, as you know. But like, even on my guitar straps and stuff, I've got. He did like Krampus ones and all kinds of stuff, and his designs are just very clean and just awesome. Yeah. But yeah, That's cool. But yeah, maybe we're on to something. We could do like location patches or something. Oh, you've been to Waverly. Here's your patch, kind of like the military has their different things for their different deployments and that.
Oh, yeah.
This is my third year in kind of thing. So that's hilarious.
Oh, man. I do like the idea too with the shirts, having like us make the Haunted Ones shirts. So whenever we have new people, filming with us, maybe have the back of the shirt say rookie or something on
Sucker.
it.
sucker on it or something. Yeah, noob.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that was
whatever term you want to use for. Yeah,
no,
subject
it's yeah,
in quotes. That's funny.
yeah, that's awesome.
Well, we're coming up on 2 hours, so that's usually about when I cut this off. I mean, we can
No,
still
you're
ramble
good. I was
on,
gonna say I
but
gotta get my kiddo going to
yeah.
bed here.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I just realized what time it was, but no, it was great talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
It,
Thank you for
it's
having me on.
it's been a blast, and yeah, keep us in the loop on. I mean, I'm sure we'll stay in the loop on the haunted one stuff. So I'm excited to
Yeah,
see where that goes, and then yeah, hit me up with those locations, and we'll see what we
yeah,
can come up with, and then
yeah, for sure.
cool,
I will
and
let
then
you know for sure.
and everybody, thanks for watching. I'm Scott with Jenna and Scott Investigates. This is Amanda Lewis with now the Haunted Ones, formerly and still Scar Encounters and the Paranormal People. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody that's
Thanks,
been on here,
guys.
and
Appreciate it.
we were coming on 2 hours, and thanks a lot. See everybody. I am clocking
Good
out.
night.
See you,
Bye.
Amanda. Take care.
You too.